Hello everybody, this is Amanda Ellis and welcome to my channel, anybody that's new. I'm doing a series of daily videos at the moment to help support people through this crisis that we're going through as a world. And I wasn't going to be making a video today, it's the 22nd of March, but I'm going to be putting this up tomorrow. But I want to put today's date on it because what I'm going to be doing in this reading with cards is to be projecting 2 weeks into the future. And I, like all of you, I'm sort of stuck at home. So I was playing with the cards this morning, asking them some questions. And then the guidance that was coming through was so crystal clear that I thought, well, I have to share this. So what the cards that I've already got down here are linked into the UK, but I will pull some cards for other countries as well. But I think, to be honest, whichever country we learn from, there is learning for everybody. And I'm going to show you what they are in a moment, but I want just to say something before I get going, which is that I believe that when you use tarot cards or any oracle cards, there is a degree of ethical responsibility. And that might sound terribly boring, but, you know, hey, it's the truth. And it's Mother's Day here in the UK, so here I am being mum, being spiritual mum, and just reminding all of us as a tribe that when we read on situations, even when they are very challenging and difficult, we need to try and bring through the highest possible guidance to support people, to help people, to make people feel, to give people hope, basically. So I think there's a lot of scaremongering out there at the moment on certain channels, and I just think it's really wrong. I think it's also very wrong to try and pull cards to try and predict whether somebody is going to get it. I've seen that linked into trying to predict whether certain leaders are ill or have got it or are even going to die of it. You know, that is just discrediting our whole craft of what we try and do as spiritual warriors. Metatron is saying cards, for example, as well as any other tool, are given to us as a gift to help us help others. And so that should always be front of mind when we do card readings, particularly readings that are linked into something as difficult as the situation we're in right now. Now, that message was brought front of mind to me today because when I pulled the cards for the UK in 2 weeks' time, and remember that at the moment we're 2 weeks behind the curve of Italy. So in 2 weeks' time, there is an expectation of a tsunami coming towards us in terms of hospitals being unable to cope, an increase in number of people dying and being infected. And it's, you know, very uncertain times, being able to feel that there is this wave coming, but feeling helpless to be able to stop it. So when I pulled these cards this morning, I was so pleased to see that there was some very strong, positive guidance for us, and that's why I'm sharing it. So realise that we are not helpless victims. We are actually people that can make a difference by the vibration that we're carrying at the moment, and I think the guidance from these cards is to help us with that. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to look at the UK first. So I'm going to show you the cards in the order that I pulled them. And the deck I'm using at the moment is the After Tarot deck. The After Tarot deck. Okay. So first card that comes out is the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor. And the Emperor, I think the Emperor is linked to Aries. I think I'm right in saying that, which would make sense because we are entering April, which is an Aryan energy. But here, first card out is the Emperor. This to me is showing the person in charge, which I assume to still be Boris Johnson, maintaining order. I also want to say that I'm going to be obviously referring to different leaders of different countries here. And I believe we should be putting party politics aside now to get behind the people who are in positions of power so they can do the best with what they've got. Okay, so here I think this is Boris. He's coming through as the Emperor, and he's sitting there, you know, in a position of power, and he's trying to maintain control and order. And the thing about the Emperor is that he's able to do that. So I feel that's quite a positive card coming through. Now, how he's done that, I'm not quite sure. It may very well be that there's an energy of what we're calling safe harbour on this channel rather than lockdown. We don't call it lockdown, we're trying to call it safe harbour. So enforcing the fact that people have to stay in. At the moment, there is, you know, even though restaurants have been closed, pubs, theatres, cinemas, you're still able to go out, and he's relying on people's goodwill to not go out apart from essential things such as food. Or if you've got a job, obviously you've got to go to that you can't work from home. But the Emperor in 2 weeks' time is saying, I feel that more legal structures will have come into place, forcing people to obey. Okay, so that's him as the Emperor, in control of the situation. Okay, which is good to see, I think. The next card that came out was this one, which is the Queen of Wands. Now, I think the Queen of Wands is the Queen here. I personally think this is the Queen. I was reading last night that there are already plans in place for the Queen to be addressing the nation at the time which is most appropriate. And what they're meaning by that is that she's going to come on and make a broadcast when it's really needed to lift spirits. The sunflower here is the flower which represents happiness and joy and upliftment. So she's coming in to try to lift the nation's spirits when it is most needed. And I did pull on 2 weeks' time, so that would be her. Come out. You can come out, Sophie. It's fine. Sorry, it's a Sunday here, and obviously I've got a family home, so... yeah, so there she is on the throne. And I just think beside Boris, there we've got two leaders represented, which are going to be steering the country through these times. Next card that came out is the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is showing that it's going to cost a lot of money, and we will be spending a lot of money. We will be going into the reserves. I mean, we already are, but we're going to be going even deeper into the reserves and actually sharing some of the wealth that is in the vaults. You know, the treasure chest, as they call it, you know, which chancellors dip into at budget time to, you know, give us a little bit of, I don't know, additional help. Well, they're going to have to be dipping in even further to this treasure chest in 2 weeks' time. And again, I think that's a positive sign that certainly in the UK, the money is there. The money is there to help. I sort of get an impression that even though they already are offering financial assistance to businesses, I feel as though that chest was quite slow to open. But it's as though when it opens, it really opens for anybody that needs it. Let's hope that is the case. Remember, this is a timeline that I am tuning into now, so we can make this more likely to happen rather than just dismissing it because, you know, oh, they're not going to do that because they're Tories or they're Conservatives, if that's what you think. It's not what I'm saying, but I know some people might think that. Okay, let's see what else we got coming through. We got the Strength card, which is really positive to see. We got the 10 of Cups. You see, I loved that. So again, remember these cards are pulled for the UK in 2 weeks' time. This is the card of the family. This is the card of people coming together as one. This is about people coming together as tribe. This is about young and old uniting around the campfire. And I love the fact that we've got a depiction of animals in all of the cards that I've pulled so far. We've got a cat, we've got a ram, I think he's supposed to be a ram, we've got a dog, we've got a cat, we've got a lion. So the Brits are known as nations of a nation of animal lovers. So I feel as though we're also going to be taking care of our animals. We're going to be taking care of our old. We're going to be taking care of the sick. We're going to be taking care of the young. And it feels as though, to me, this is a card that as a nation we really pull together, and that we align underneath this condition that is in our midst, and we shine the brightest that we can. And it's almost like a return to the Blitz spirit, where people really had to pull together as one to see themselves through a difficult time for the country. So I love that, and I love the fact that it's beside the card of strength. Okay, so this is saying we're going to find our strength. We're going to realise that we're stronger than we thought we were, and it's just a very good card to see that. The next card that came out for the UK was the Knight of Pentacles. And it came next to the card of strength. So the Knight of Pentacles comes in offering something. And I feel here this is an offer of help. Now, when I first saw this card, what struck me, if you look on it, we've got people here. There's a depiction of animals in a field, a farmer and animals in a field. So it takes me to more rural parts of the country. And it feels as though the hot spots are quite obviously going to be in the cities, because that's where most of the people are. And if you've got lots of people, of course, there's more chance for infection to spread. But it feels as though there's going to be a lot of help coming into the cities from people that live in rural areas, maybe who've got the skills that are needed, whether that be in hospitals, whether that be in maintaining the food supply, pharmaceutical supplies, fuel supplies. It feels as though some of the what I'm being shown is some people who found it hard to find jobs in rural communities because basically there aren't any jobs. It's as though suddenly there are openings and opportunities for people to come into the cities and help those cities in their moment of need. And it feels as though some of the people come off the fields and actually come to help. Knight of Pentacles is linked into a slow, steady offer of help. So it doesn't feel as though it's a rush. It feels as though it's a trickle, but it does feel as though it's there. What I'm hearing Metatron say is the ones that come to help people in the cities from rural areas are people that you can rely on, okay? People that are reliable. They're not people that would just sort of turn up for one stint in a hospital, for example, and then realise they couldn't do it and leave. They're people that are steady. I'm picking up the Taurian type energy, very grounded, very down-to-earth people who know what the job is, know that they can do it, and are willing to commit to it for however long it takes. So that's a really beautiful message, don't you think? So remember, when you're listening to this, this is about the UK at the moment, but what I'm doing is I'm just linking into a timeline. So if what I'm saying is resonating, that, hey, yes, we could do this in our country, we'll try and bring this consciousness in as a strand to your country as well. Because what we've got here in the UK is people coming together and working as one, finding their own inner strength, offers of help coming in from rural areas to the cities, and also law and order being maintained. And to be honest, law and order being maintained by the traditional institutions and whatever they are in your country. So in Britain, whether you like them or not, we've got Boris as the Prime Minister, we've got a Conservative government, and we've got the royal family. And they are two pillars that are going to be seeing us through these times, okay? And also we're lucky in the UK because we have wealth. We have wealth in the chest, and that is going to be coming out, okay? So it is quite interesting as well, because I read something the other day about this policy in the UK whereby I think they're saying that for an employer, if you keep your staff on, the government will pay 80% of the person's wage. So the employer just has to pay the 20%, which is still a bit, but, you know, the government will cover the 80%. So it means a lot of businesses are not going to go bust. A lot of businesses will be able to hopefully see through these times. I'm not wanting to be controversial here, but, you know, it's a policy which is maybe more aligned to the centre or left in terms of giving out with an unlimited amount, because the Chancellor has said we will keep giving. There's no limit on it. The treasure can just keep coming out of this chest, and it's not necessarily a traditional Conservative policy, because the Conservative policy is more to do with, you know, I don't know, looking after yourself, and I don't want to get into all of the politics, but here what I'm really trying to say is I think that's Boris, and this is Boris. He's turning a blind eye to the cash that's basically being taken out of the chest, which normally would have been more tightly controlled and regulated. He's turning a blind eye to it. Okay, so that's what I want to say about that card. Right, the last card I need to tune into a little bit more, because we got the Eight of Cups in reverse. Now, I just watched a video from Steve Judd, actually, who's one of my friends. As you know, I've done videos with Steve before, and he made, I think he's the only person I've heard talk about this yet, but it is the truth, which is that viruses don't really tend to go away. That doesn't mean we're all going to be living under these situations forever, but when a virus is reality, viruses tend to stay within the population. I think Steve mentioned, for example, the herpes virus, you know, which has been around for a long time. So we learn to deal with it. We learn to build up our immunity to it. You know, obviously they bring in medications to help deal with it. But the thing is, viruses can come in waves. And we know from a pandemic perspective that this often happens. You'll get the first wave, and then you think everything's back to normal, and then you get the second wave. And I hate to say it, but I think this Eight of Cups here is saying that as a nation, it's as though we rise to the challenge. You know, yes, it's terribly sad and difficult, but we pull together, and then this is almost like, and then we just want to move on with our lives. We just want to move on. But this is saying, you know, because this is the card of moving on, but it's in reverse. And I think this is saying, I think you can't, I think it comes back in another wave, is what I want to say. Okay. Let's pull one more card to go with that. What goes with the Eight of Cups? Oh gosh, I haven't got long enough arms. Let's shuffle them here. Bit of a weird angle that. My hand looks weird. Okay, that one came out. Yeah, it's what I thought it was. Four of Swords is a respite. It's a respite. I almost want to put them in that order. We have a respite from it, but it comes back. There's a rest period. There's a time for us to recharge our batteries as a nation, get the economy hopefully a bit more back onto balance. But just be aware that there are waves of this that will come. Okay, and we will rise to the challenge. Okay, I've got a deck of cards here that Metatron told me to get out that I haven't used for a while. It's actually a deck of one of my friends. I can't even remember what it's called. What is it called? Power Stone cards by Lisa Bridge. I'll put the link up when I release the video. And I shuffled these cards earlier, and this card came out. And it's, how appropriate is it? I mean, I think this is a card for all of the world, not just the UK. So it says, in darkness, I embrace light. It's the void. And on the back it says this: entering into the void, facing the shadow self, death and rebirth, hibernation and self-care, dark night of the soul. The colours that she's put underneath it are colours that she felt particularly will help during this time, and they actually link into colour sprays that I do. She sort of asked for, when she created this deck, she asked me whether that was okay, and I said yes. So gold would be rose, maybe the rose gold Stellar Gateway chakra spray. Red is the base chakra crimson. Dark blue would be indigo, which is the midnight indigo light in the dark spray. But you know, those three colours. So I mean, how appropriate is that? That's what we're doing. We're entering into the void, facing our shadow self, which means facing our fear, facing our unwounded base chakra issues, which are making people hoard and panic and, you know, just go a little bit crazy. But when we can bring that up to heal, then, I mean, imagine the world when we're through all of this, a world that has been able to face up to its wounded base chakra, has it been able to face up to its own fear. This is a big part of what the virus is doing. It's making us face our fear. And through that, there is a death and rebirth process. We come out the other side. But as we've been told, we have to hibernate. We have to embody self-care. And is a dark night of the soul for the world, really, isn't it? Okay. So, yeah. Number 7. I don't know why she's got number 7 on there, but to me, that links into the 7 chakras. Okay, so maintaining the 7 chakras through this process. I'm going to pull one other card for the UK from a different deck. This is the... what is this? Lion's Gateway Tarot. Which looks like that. Lion's Gateway Tarot. Six of Swords. Okay, I've all got 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck as well. 2 sixes. Memories of the past. Looking back to a more innocent time. I mean, this is really making us all think, isn't it, about how much we took for granted. How much? I mean, it's Mother's Day today, so normally we would be going out to lunch. I'd be taking my mum out. We'd be, you know, we're just having a nice time, basically. As it is, I can't see my mum because I'm having to not go and see her because she's in self-isolation, because she's one of the vulnerable groups. I've had a bit of a cold, so I'm not risking it. You know, all the restaurants are closed, not that we want to go out, but, you know, we're looking back like, oh, it was really quite nice when we were able to do that. It was quite nice when we were able to shake hands. Look at that. I read somebody was talking about the fact that, of course, nobody's shaking hands anymore at the moment for obvious reasons. How wonderful is it that we can start to maybe practice the namaste, you know, raising your 2 hands in prayer to your heart center and just bowing namaste when you see somebody rather than shaking hands. So, but again, this is just, you know, oh, look at that. We used to just do all these things without thinking, and nostalgia for the past. It'll come back, of course, in some shape or form, but at the moment we're very nostalgic about it, and we're feeling that we're being forced into this situation where we're having to move away from everything that we've really known, and we're all in this boat. It feels a bit like the Titanic. I'm feeling here. It's like one of those boats from the Titanic, and everyone's just sort of moving away from the scene of the disaster which is going on basically in some cities and towns. And it's an uncertain time. But, you know, what are they basically being led by? They are being led by the sun. They're being led by the light. They are focusing on the sun. They're focusing on the light. Those of you that are entering spring months, summer months, get out in the sun as much as you can. Sit in your gardens, sit on your balconies if you've got one, or stick your head out of the window if it comes to it, if you really can't get out. But, you know, I'm being serious. It's really important to dose yourself up on vitamin D naturally from the sun, because the sun will guide you through this. In darkness, I embrace light. Through this dark night of the soul type energy that we've got going on. Make sure that the sun is the thing that guides you. I also want to say there's a bit of a nod also to a post I put up on my community tab on Friday, I think it was, and it's really resonated with an enormous number of people. I think there's like, I don't know, 2,000 likes and I don't know, loads of comments. There's been a bit of controversy with it as well, which is fine. It's okay to have a, you know, a discussion on these things. But effectively what I was saying is be led by the people that are talking about light and about hope. Don't be led by people that are taking you even further into fear at the moment, okay? It's really important that you follow the light, okay? Because that leads you out of the darkness as well, okay? So, yeah, 6 of Swords and double 6. I mean, the 66 energy is also a very grounding energy. It's a very grounding energy. It's about coming back down to earth. Right, now I'm wondering whether just to pause this here, and I think I will. I'm going to now close this down, and then I'll do a reading for another country. But I think I'll just leave this one here as it stands. This is for the UK. So, any other guidance for the UK, Metatron? I'm just hearing him say, be still and know that I am here. Okay. He's with us in this whole experience. Okay. So this is also, he's saying that these two figures here, these can also represent the divine masculine and the divine feminine within yourself. So, and you have a treasure trove within your own self of wisdom, of strength, of ability, of resource, of capability. There is untapped potential both within your divine masculine and your divine feminine within you to get you through these times. Okay, much love. See you all next video. Bye-bye for now. Hello everybody, this is Amanda. How are you doing? I've just done a reading for the UK, projecting forward 2 weeks time to what the energy is looking like. I'm making this on the 22nd of March, and I'm being asked now to look at a few other countries. I'm actually going to start with Italy, that is facing a real crisis at this moment in time, and I'm sending out much love to all the Italians, and I'd like to see where we're at. I'm actually hearing by the 22nd of April, so they're actually taking me 1 month further on for Italy for some reason. So let's pull some cards for Italy by 22nd of April, month's time. What we're doing here is we're tapping into timelines, and I just explained on the video I've just done that I believe that we should be using tarot cards, oracle cards to help, not hinder at this moment in time. So we have to remember that this is a craft that requires some ethics and morality to it. So my readings are about inspiring and giving you some hope. So Italy, I have to say for Italy that those of you that follow me regularly know that I often will channel stars that have passed over, or just beings that want to come and help us. And I have been feeling the energy of Pavarotti around, and he's so proud of the way that Italians have been responding to this crisis, and in particular has been in tears, is what he's saying. He's been in tears seeing the pictures of all the people who are singing and making music for others, standing on their balcony, and he's saying the vibration of that music and the human voice has reached to heaven, has reached to heaven. He said, you've made people in souls in heaven weep. And he says, I've been one of them. And he's shown me this great big handkerchief, dabbing his eye with this great big handkerchief. And he's really with you. He's really with you. I will try and bring through a proper channeling, a longer channeling with him, because that's just like a little, he's just shown me a little snapshot, but he's definitely around. And it's like he can't really speak much at the moment because he's overcome with emotion. He's overcome with emotion of his people, and he's also overcome with emotion just because of the music and the way that music has brought people together. He's saying in a way that I always knew it could. And he's saying, you inspire me. You inspire me. He's saying, be strong. Look after each other. Be strong. Demonstrate to the world who you are. Show the world who the Italians are. He says, you're showing the world our beauty and our power and how much we have to offer. He's so proud of the Italian people. It's so beautiful. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Let's pull some cards. Let's just see if we're ready to go. Are we ready to go? Italy. Okay, Italy. Okay, that card obviously wants to come up. The Six of Swords. Now remember, this is 4 weeks into the future, the 22nd of April, okay? And that's a really good card to see, because this is showing the country moving away from a difficult situation. This is somebody who's picked up his swords and is moving away. And yes, it's a card which is acknowledging the pain and the loss and the struggle and the worry that the country has been through. But yet there is a resilience here within this card, which is showing that life goes on. It's also showing the boat. It's as though you've moved to a more safe shoreline. It's as though moving away from troubled waters to a safer shoreline. And here we've got the woman, and we've got the child, and we've got the man, and he's packed up. There's an old-fashioned song which isn't Italian, it's actually British, and it goes back to the days of the war, and it's pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. And I'm hearing that, and it might be a nod also to the fact that the Italians and the Brits during the war obviously fought beside each other. So I don't know, I'm hearing that song really, really clearly. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Okay, I've got to sing it apparently, because that's what Pavarotti's saying. He's saying sing it. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. So it's just this thing. It's acknowledging where you've been. And of course, there might still be, infection there and death going on. But it's like it's moving away. The clouds are starting to clear, okay? Look at the sky. The clouds are starting to clear. It's not a blue sky yet, but it's not a dark sky either. It's a grey sky. Okay, right. This card is I'm keeping because this was in the UK reading, but I feel it's for all countries. And it says, "In darkness I embrace light. Entering into the void, facing the shadow, death and rebirth, hibernation and self-care, dark night of the soul." I'm feeling as though this is more in the past for you, not completely over, but it's as though that's what you've been going through. Let me pull one more card that goes with that, actually, for Italy. These cards are called Power Stone cards. So Italy, I'm just going to close my eyes so I can't see what I'm pulling. Italy in 4 weeks' time, please, Archangel Metatron. Italy in 4 weeks' time. Please let's have some guidance. Italy in 4 weeks' time. Guidance, one card, just one card. Italy, 4 weeks' time. I can't actually see what I'm doing, by the way. I've got my eyes closed. Just want one. That one? Yeah. Earth Spirit Stone. I honour my connection with Earth. Okay. Okay. Connecting with Earth's wisdom, creating balance in the environment, healing through nature, respect for the earth, outside meditation. It's as though this has been a big shake-up for Italy in terms of the environment, respecting nature even more than before, realising that Earth has also been going through a cleansing process through this experience. I've talked before in other videos about swans being seen on the canals in Venice, and fish in the waters, dolphins also appearing. So it's as though Mother Nature has been a great solace, and people are coming back and thanking her and connecting to her and really appreciating her. Okay, let's pull, I want to pull 5 cards, I think, for Italy. So let's just see what they are. Okay, 5 cards for Italy. 1 month from now, please, Metatron, by the 22nd of April. 1. April the 22nd, Italy. April the 22nd, Italy. April the 22nd, Italy. We've got the 2 of Cups on, which came out as well. Well, Italy is known as, I don't know, I'm hearing like a nation of lovers. So it's like, it's a place where we associate with love. I was just talking about Venice, romance, love. Just feeling that very, very strongly. Let's see what the cards say. 6 of Cups. This came up for the UK as well. Remembering happier times. Remembering the importance of family. I mean, I associate Italy as being a country that is very linked into family, much more than a lot of other countries, in terms of respecting their elders, families still living closer together. I'm sure that's not always the case, but you know, that's sort of the traditional view of Italy. And if there's been any falling away from that, I feel as though the Italians are really, it's as though it's reinforced the best of what they are. You know, it's like culture, music, love, family, the importance of family coming through again. You know, really, really strong. It always was strong, but even more than before. It's beautiful, just the energy that I'm feeling coming from that. And the children, you see the children out enjoying themselves again, whereas they haven't been able to. And there's still some elders there. There's an elder woman there, and the children are running towards her. The children respecting, it's almost like a newfound respect for the elders. I think the respect was always there. I don't know, any Italian watching me can comment. Was there maybe a weakening of that? And if there was, it comes back again stronger. But it comes back stronger anyway. UK got this card as well, and I did shuffle the cards. I might well find that similar cards come up for all countries, because at the end of the day, this is a universal experience that we're all going through. This is the card of the family, okay? What I've just said in the UK video, it's as though young and old, sick, we all come together as one. We're all able to show the best of who we are. We're able to show the best of humanity. Even though it's been a really difficult time, we're able to shine in the darkness. So this is people gathering once more, you know, around the stove, around the kitchen fire is what I'm hearing. You know, it's a celebration of eating and I mean, there isn't any food in that picture, but I'm just being shown the kitchen stove. You know, it's as though families are gathering once again and enjoying each other's company and warmth. So social isolation, not being able to be within a couple of meters of people. I mean, it may still be in operation in some places, but I'm feeling in other areas it's as though families are able to come back together under safer skies and be with each other again. Okay, let's see what the next card is. Wow. You see, if you've watched the UK video, you'll realise why I'm saying wow, because we're getting the same cards. But in the UK, this card was in reverse. And what I basically said is that I felt as though the UK wasn't being able to move away and escape it at that time, or wasn't being able to move away and escape it. But I wasn't projecting forward a month. I was only projecting forward 2 weeks. In a month's time, it's as though people are moving away from from the problem. It feels as though the problem is receding. I'm not saying the problem isn't still there, but it's as though it's receding. This is moving away from something. What goes with that? Goes with death. Okay. Okay, I'll pull a clarifying card on that. I'm feeling as I want to say this is death moving away from the land. I mean, obviously death goes on every day in every country, you know, at any time, but I'm talking about the big clusters of death. Okay, I think it was 800 people died yesterday in Italy as I'm making this of this pandemic. So I think this is death being shown the door in terms of the large scale suffering, moving away from death. I'm going to pull one more card though. What goes with death? Yeah, you see, and I don't even need to, because on the bottom of the pack we've got the Fool, which is the start of a new beginning. So I feel as though in a month's time, Italy starts to be able to regroup itself. Certainly in terms of this first wave, okay, because viruses do tend to come in waves, but I feel as though what Metatron is showing me is almost like a warning system, green, amber and red. And it's as though Italy obviously right now is flashing red. It's like it's just flashing red. There's tragedy going on a daily basis, not being able to cope with it in terms of the resources. You know, it's the hospital's not being able to cope, but it's like he's saying it's not green, it's downgrading to amber. Okay, in a month's time it's downgrading to amber. Amber is still flashing a warning. Okay, so it's not saying, you know, this isn't still around, it's just saying that it's starting to move away. And this is what's wanting to come in. I'm going to pull a card for where Italy are right now as I'm making this video. Any guidance in terms of where Italy are right now? So this is a month's time. Let's just pull a card now for where they are now. Any guidance, please, Metatron, where they are now. Where they are now, Italy, where they are now. High Priestess. And the Nine of Cups. So I'm just trying to tune into what that means in this scenario. I mean, whatever the traditional meaning of the Nine of Cups is, I always go on what my gut feel is. I have always associated, particularly this deck, with that person being rather greedy, because he's got all of the, he's got it all to himself. I feel as though this represents the very wealthy in society. That there's something going on with the very wealthy in society that is being hidden at the moment. We can't quite see what's going on. I'm not sure I'm even supposed to know. I'm not talking a political thing here. I'm actually more led to a church situation. I need a clarifier on that. I don't really understand those two. Let's pull from another deck. Let's get this deck, Lion's Heart Tarot. So, oh, okay. No, I'm not going to take all of those. Got 3 came out. I only want one. I'd like one clarifier, please, in terms of what's going on with Italy right now. I can't speak. Clarification. Why have we got the High Priestess and why have we got the Nine of Cups right now for Italy? Nine of Cups usually would be a positive card, you see, but at the moment there's just tragedy going on. But I suppose it's the best of times and the worst of times, isn't it? But I always think there's greed there with that Nine of Cups card. Italy, right now. The Hanged Man. Being asked to see something from a different perspective. Oh, okay. Maybe it's to do with, yeah, oh, thank you. Okay, I get it now. The hidden wealth. The hidden wealth within Italy. This is probably mafia as well related. It's also church related. It probably is political related. It's all the upper echelons of Italian society where there is hidden wealth, being forced to take another look at their position. Okay. Being forced to take another look at their position. Five of Swords, yeah, you see. Are you? That's always the card which is linked into being victorious, but at what cost? I think the consciences of some people are starting to be pricked at the moment in terms of, I have all this wealth, I have all this plenty, but yet look what's happening to my people. It's like a wake-up call for some people in the upper strata of society who've got a lot and who aren't awake, okay? I'm not talking about people who are wealthy and rich and who are awake spiritually and who already are out there helping. I'm talking about hidden, the High Priestess is something that's hidden sectors of society that have got a lot of money, a lot of wealth. They are being forced to take another look at themselves and like, is it actually worth it? I mean, that's just an opportunity that's being presented to them by Spirit, okay? Whether or not they take that and do anything with it is a different matter, but that's the opportunity that's being granted to them. Let's just have one guidance card now for people in Italy right now. Remember, this is all in a month's time, so right now, please, any guidance for people in Italy watching this. Any guidance for people in Italy watching this, making this on the 22nd of March. Any guidance for people in Italy watching this? Okay. Yeah. Acknowledgement from Spirit that right now in Italy there is absolute, there's heartache. There's heartache, there's pain, there's endings. You are being assured by Spirit. The Wheel of Fortune is saying you will move away from this. You will move away from this. This isn't the new norm, okay? This is just a terrible happening at the moment. It will pass. The wheel will turn and there will be a fresh new start. There will be a fresh new start. And it's saying it will come in quicker than you think it will, okay? So... yeah, I can't really add much more to that, I don't think. So stay strong, stay strong. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. And it's about lunchtime here now on Mother's Day. So I'm going to switch off now and I might do some more of these videos tomorrow or later. I'll look at USA. I'll try to look at Australia. I can't look at every country around the globe, okay? But we'll see. I think they're quite interesting. I think they're quite illuminating. Much love. Keep the faith. Look after each other. Take care. Bye for now.